You're watching Pulse for the 7th of July, and it's time for the World of Warcraft news. In this week's episode, we take a look at the rumoured World of Warcraft expansion, Vengeance of the Void, the future of Alcaz Island, a lot of patch 4.2 goodies, and much more. Let's get started. In what is possibly our biggest piece of news, in what I would call a pretty slow news week, or if not biggest, I guess most interesting, there was a leaked document from Blizzard that was making the rounds this past weekend. So yes, leaked, unofficial, unconfirmed, unreliable source, and what does all that mean? Sadly, it's fake. That part has been confirmed by quite a few people, although it is a pretty well done fake. The leaked document pretty much just gives us an overview of what levels 85 to 90 will be like in the expansion titled Vengeance of the Void. It tells us how the expansion will take place many years after the Burning Crusade and focus on Outland's growing instability. The Burning Legion will be the central antagonist after Deathwing's demise. Demon Hunters will also apparently take a supporting role in the expansion, though not as a playable class. No new hero classes, 4 new planets of sorts to explore, 2 new starting zones, Deadwind Pass, that's level 1 to 10 for Alliance, and Coral Breach, that's level 1 to 10 for Horde. Both apparently put the player in the center of the action and feature rich cinematics and stories, and some plain old cool stuff. Ardal will perhaps be the main antagonist of the expansion, as he was corrupted in the invasion of Shatrath City by the Void. The explosion from Deathwing's demise shattered the Dark Portal, rendering it a major threat for Azeroth. Kerentor and Netherguard worked to seal it in an arcane shield to prevent Azeroth from being crushed by the pressure of Outland, and apparently the priest class, more specifically Shadow Priests, are set to get some much needed lore attention. Phew, yes. All that and more was touched on in this fake document. I have to say that's all sounding pretty exciting, so what do you think of revisiting Outland and the lore left behind there? What about the fact that there will not be any new hero classes? Well, allegedly, of course. I still think that sounds like an expansion I'd very much like to play. Anyway, read the full, if still totally fake, leaked document below, along with all the big World of Warcraft related sites' posts on it. One thing I'll just add is that some of the people take these things way too seriously. Don't. Just read it, enjoy the ideas, and think of what could be. In some somewhat or semi-related news, just before we jump into the patch 4.2 goodies, the guys over at MMO Champion have apparently been poking around at the patch 4.2 game files, and it looks like Blizzard has a couple of plans for Alcaz Island. You know the one, don't you? Well, a new map, Scenario Alcaz Island, was found in the game files. It looks like the zone will be instanced at some point and available as a scenario, whatever that is. Apparently this is likely to be Cataclysm content, but there is also the slight possibility that this is early data from the next expansion that just got mislabeled somehow. Anyway, it's all just a bunch of speculating on something very small. You know, the best kind of speculating. Check the post out over at MMO Champion to see it all for yourself. And hey, remember to drop a thanks there. It's really great that there are people out there that are actively looking for interesting goodies for us. Now it's time for the patch 4.2 updates and happenings that you all knew there'd be. First up, there were a couple of sets of hotfixes applied over the past week, on the 29th of June and on the 1st of July. Big fixes include that it's no longer possible to complete some daily quests more than once a day by turning them in during a small window before the standard reset time. Yes, no more doubling up on those dailies, but you probably all knew that already. There were a ton of fixes and changes in the Firelands that I won't cover in depthly here, except for one that you can see on your screens right now. I'll talk about that in just a minute. Then, as you all probably also know, heroic modes were also disabled for a few days too. Why, you ask? Well, normally you needed to kill a boss on its non-heroic mode first to be able to access it in hard mode when your raid lockout resets. But there was a workaround. If you faction transferred your character, it saved your boss kill history but not your raid ID. So that said, some guilds, which I will mention in just a few minutes, used that to their advantage. They cleared the Firelands on its normal difficulty, faction transferred, and then began clearing it again, this time doing the hard modes. that is some dedication to raiding. The other hotfixes include numerous class changes, as always, some Firelands balance tweaks, and quite a few silly bug fixes too. Check them all out below. Then, in what I'll call our patch 4.2 extras for the week, you can read about and check out the fact that the new legendary staff, Dragonwrath, also comes with a built-in mount now. A pretty awesome looking mount at that. Yes, be jealous of those casters. You can read about the slew of world first kills that will no doubt keep rolling in over the next couple of weeks, even though some of them are not totally legit, as I mentioned before. You can check out a post that I found really interesting that breaks down the progression through the Firelands or Molten Front daily quests. You can read how a few hairstyles are apparently missing or not yet implemented in patch 4.2. Then the video playing on your screens right now. The video is from a player named Myon and shows, as you can clearly see, why Blizzard had to hotfix the trash of the Firelands raid earlier this week. Quite impressive stuff. You can check that video out right here on YouTube. Next up, in what I guess could still be considered an extra, in addition to the new item level 365 gear that players can purchase from unlockable vendors at the Molten Front, and the epic armor sets they can claim from Ragnaros and his minions in the Firelands, patch 4.2 also boasts a wealth of cool items for collectors and completionists alike. From companion pets to mounts to trinkets with unique on-use effects. There's a little something for everyone. To make sure none of us miss out on any of these collectibles, Blizzard have put together a list of all the new featured items introduced in 4.2, so you can check out what's available and exactly where to find it. Head on over to the official site right now to have a peek. And again, as with most of their new posts, this one is incredibly well laid out and beautiful to behold. Enjoy. In this week's art updates, we have the usual suspects, starting with 10 new pieces in the official Blizzard trading card game art gallery. Needless to say, awesome stuff all around. After that, you can check out 4 pretty amazing, if slightly weird looking fan art updates. Well, some of them at least. All of which can be found below in full size. Then the Burning Crusade art gallery has been updated with 5 new pieces, and there's one pretty funny comic to check out too. I couldn't help but laugh at this one. Last up, 3 new pieces from the guys over at the Daily Blink. Only you can prevent epic fail. This memo is completely real, and love is a fire that burns. So with those done, let's head on over to the World of WarCraft Smalls. In the Smalls this week, over at the official site, read how you can watch Europe's best at the 2011 European BattleNet Invitational. The 2011 Arena Pass has closed, the battle is over. You can check out the latest Corehound Pup screenshot contest winner. You can check out a bunch of Firelands boss guides over at Learn to Raid. Then you can also check out Firelands normal mode and Barrett and Hold boss strategies, courtesy of Tankspot and Wowhead. Blizz Blues is back with their latest episode, Ninja Warrior. World of WarCraft Wolfheart's front cover artwork has been revealed. You can see an interesting post over at Gamasutra titled Fairness in MMOs. Researchers are apparently using achievements to read your mind. Then the 4 latest WoW Movie Watch posts, Epic Eats Cataclysm, Steak Sandwiches, The Gilnean Fellow, and Bless the Martyr Blackwing Descent. Now for the World of Warcraft Blue posts. The Blues had a lot to say this week on the Holiday Bag hotfix, on guild transfers, on new content, the differences between PvE and PvP players, on the patch 4.0 raids being puggable now, on the Tabard's tab, on Thrall and Agra's wedding, on the Dungeon Journal, is it a disappointment or is it useful, and on the lack of spirit gear. Sadly, that's all I have for you in this episode. That's all there was in the World of Warcraft news of the past week. Thanks to everyone that managed to watch all the way to the very end. It's much appreciated. Remember to like the video, favorite it, share it with your friends, and subscribe. Most importantly though, happy vengeance of the void.